See,
what I
if you
don't
get
know
talked into
yet.
a circle about, is it going to be a chatbot that talks to you about AI chatbots?
Well, if it does, and then I'm ready to sign up, then we know it's good. You know what I mean? Like, if
Right.
that's the case, and I'm at the end of the conversation ready to go, like, then we know
Yeah.
we're probably not taking too high of a
So
risk
long as you
here.
don't have to book an appointment with somebody.
Okay, so I hit record. The numbers are going up. We're good, right?
Well, they went down first, and then now it's a red light. So,
Man, I
it's
knew I
fine.
was going to screw that up somehow. No.
It's all right.
Oh, no, it's red. We're good. All right,
good.
guys. Welcome to the Make Trades Great Again podcast. Hey, Andy. Let's bring everybody into this conversation we just had for 30 minutes before we hit record.
Right.
I don't know how we got on the subject, but chatbots and answering the phones
Yeah.
and this whole thing where we see our colleagues, we'll call them, we're part of the HVAC, or what's it called? House Call Pro.
House Call Pro. Yep.
Facebook group.
Yep.
And that's the software we run our businesses with. It's not a plug for them, whatever.
Yeah.
Use them, use somebody else. I don't care. Use somebody, because it'll change your life. If you're doing things on paper or just on QuickBooks right now, you're missing out. But anyway, like having a virtual assistant, having somebody answer the phones for your business, but in the form of AI.
Yeah.
And not an actual person. We have thoughts on it. I have some thoughts. I think maybe you and I can meet in the middle on some of it. Maybe we'll be on opposite ends of the spectrum a little bit, but neither one of us, let's start this conversation out, because we don't want people listening any further if they think we're going to give them all this advice on our experience with this. We don't have any experience with it yet.
Right.
But you and I were talking about it, and I'm actually thinking about it. I really am. I haven't got any further than just kind of reading the comments on these Facebook posts and stuff like that on the subject, because there's a lot of people out there doing it. That should be obvious.
Yeah.
You've had some frustrating experience recently, so let's just let's get into it. What are your thoughts on this stuff, and how do you see it being used, and what's your experience recently? Like, I want to hear that first. Let's get the drama out there.
Yeah,
right
get the tea out. I'm reluctant right now. Like, I was thinking about it really seriously. Like, Cheryl and I should have a conversation about this. Like this could be good for us, right?
Yeah.
Could help on her end. As far as like, being able to answer that call that this person's called 3 times and we've not been able to answer the phone, but they won't leave a message. So
yeah, nobody leaves a message anymore, it seems.
yeah, we get a lot, but our customer base has been trained. Leave us a message, we'll call you back. If you don't leave a message, we're not going to call you back. Guaranteed.
Yeah,
100%.
I will say this. I know people leave. That's a stupid statement. Nobody leave. That's not true.
But you're right.
I think the majority of people that call me, if I miss them, they're not leaving a message. I'll occasionally get the person that'll listen to the voicemail and see that, hey, if you text me, I may be able to get back to you sooner, kind of thing. That's what my voicemail says. Yeah. A lot of people say that. Works for me. I'll get the message once in a while that way, but usually not a voicemail. Sorry, go ahead.
So, like I say, we've talked about it. I've been involved in a number of like discussion groups on the House Call Pro forums and stuff about like, how does AI fit into business models, that kind of thing, and I've been there on the basis of, I want to learn, like, I'm interested, I'm curious, like, how are people using this stuff?
Yeah.
And recently I tried to call and make an appointment for my van. Number 2 cylinder fuel utilization fault or something. I don't know what the heck that even means. However, it seems to have cleared itself up, mostly burning the 91 octane fuel. So I don't know if I just had bad fuel, if I got a dirty injector. I don't know. Anyway.
Interesting.
25,000 miles or something like that. So we're closing in on the 30,000 mile checkup. And I thought, well, screw it. I'm just going to make the appointment. We'll get in, we'll get it done. So I call Lithia Ford here in Missoula, big Ford dealership, right? For this area anyway, syndicated, whatever you want to call it. They're part of the big national Ford plan, and Lithia, there as I know, is all, around a bunch of the country. It's not just a single dealership anyway. Anyway, I call and I get Pam. Hi, I'm Pam. How can I help?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Pan?
all right,
Are you
at
saying
first,
pan?
yeah, at first I was like, I'm pretty sure this is AI, right? Like I was questioning it. The voice realization side of it was great, right? Like it spoke very clear, very fluent, didn't have any real computerized, sound to it. Anyway, so it's like, how can I help? And I'm like, I'd like to talk to somebody in the service department. Well, I can help you make a service appointment. Sounds like that's what you'd like to do. And I'm like, yep. Kind of go through it, and it's like, you want to do an oil change, or lists off a handful of things. And I was like, no, it's with something else. I need the diagnostics. Okay, we'll look at making you an appointment. So anyway, this goes on for basically almost 15 minutes.
Yeah.
By the time I get to the point where I'm frustrated that I can't get it to let me talk to someone to find out what the available appointments are. Like, its response was, when would you like to come in? And 2 or 3 times I was like, here's a date that works for me. We don't have any appointments available that day.
Yeah.
What, pick another day. I'm like, okay, what do you like?
It's such a cumbersome process too. It's
Right,
not like you could do it's not like you're playing the bidding game on Price is Right. 86, 87, 88, 89. Ding, 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 you in the car.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
great, yeah. And so I'm like, can I just speak with someone? Let me just talk to somebody. Well, I can help you, figure out a service appointment, and I go round and round and round. And I'm like, can I leave a message for the service manager? I'd like to speak with the service manager, like that kind of direction. And it's like, we're just not having any part of that.
Can you just say like human being? Like you start saying, I need to speak to a person.
But right before I hung up, it got to the point where I was talking loudly as if that was going to help. Right?
You turn the radio down, speak louder, and drive slower.
I'm talking loud. I just want to talk to somebody,
Can somebody just with a pulse get on the phone?
Right. And obviously, I mean, like say, it has no problem hearing what I'm asking.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
that's not it. Yeah, you don't have.
I hung up, tried to do an online thing. To date, I still haven't made an appointment for my van. Which therein lies the problem, right? The system is flawed just enough that the whole thing that you probably spent many thousands of dollars a month to enable, right? In Ford's case, maybe even a bigger number than that.
I'm sure.
The whole thing you did was you set this program up to answer the phone to make it so that you didn't lose customers. You just lost a freaking customer, right? It failed. It 100% failed to get beyond the very basic steps. And so I was like jaded a little bit about it. I'm like, this is dumb, whatever. I'll stop in there. Right. And I'll just make an appointment. I don't have time to do that shit. I mean, that's like, when do you have a time to make an appointment to go drive to the dealership and be like, hey, I got this issue with my vehicle. Can I make an appointment for like 2 or 3 weeks from now? Like I just wanted to call and make an appointment. And so this whole thing happened to me twice in a period of like 2 or 3 days. I don't remember. My doctor's office. I get a letter in the mail the other day that's like, hey, your doctor's retiring or moving on. And so I'm like, God dang it. And I've only been going to this doctor for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, well, I guess I got to set that up again. And I wanted to get some blood work done. So I'm like, I'll call, we'll get all set up. I'll get a new doctor and we'll just get this all out of the way before the end of the year type thing. Cause I always wait till the end of the year to do it.
Yep.
And I get the chat bot for the clinic. And I'm like, really? Like, this is how we're going to go. And same thing. It's like, who's your doctor? And I'm like, this is my doctor. And they're like, okay, when would you like to see your doctor? I'm like, at any available appointment. Your doctor's not taking any appointments. Like, okay, can I talk to someone? No.
No.
Right? Like, who's
Why
your doctor?
would you want to talk to somebody?
And it was this vicious cycle of like, we don't know how to handle this, so we're just going to keep going around in a circle here. And I never got the ability to talk to anybody. So what I go to this and I go, okay, well, maybe these two big companies, like, I mean, like the medical industry doesn't have any money to spend on advertising. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's weird. And like I say, this isn't like, the little local homeopathic, um, clinic down the road. This is like,
Major,
it's like
major clinic.
it's like a major thing. Like they own like buildings downtown.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so it's like, what the heck?
It's funny. I I have had experience with it recently, similar to yours, and it wasn't negative. It wasn't. It wasn't frustrating. It was, let's say, um, whatever I was doing, it was fine. It was like basically just like a directory kind of thing, right? I wasn't
Sure.
like trying to make an appointment or anything. I was just trying to get a further through their phone system to get in touch
Yeah.
with this business. Um, the the idea, so like I was looking at some marketing behind it just real quick while we were talking, and people are talking in all the time. There's always a post happening on Facebook in that group, who's like the one that I think that kind of prompted it was just from 13 hours ago. It says, looking to start using AI answering service for my business.
Yeah.
They go on the list. I saw some reviews on this one. Anyone here use them?
It's common.
It
It's a
is.
common conversation. So
Yeah, and so it's happening all the time, and often, just in even this one little specific group we're talking about, right?
yep.
And then they have the software HCP House Call Pro. They have versions of it depending on what you want it to do and stuff, and they've been
Yeah.
working on that for years. And I think it's pretty well proven. People have some pretty good things to say about it. Probably everybody's going to have a different outlook on it though,
Right.
right? Like I read some of the comments by people in this group about any subject, and I think you are way more involved in this particular subject than I have ever even given it a thought. Like I'm
Yeah.
talking like I don't even know what we're talking about. And you were talking about how all these other things are better. I'm like, wow, I am
Yeah.
really not paying attention, admittedly, to a lot of the things that these people are saying. But the AI stuff seems to be basically there and present all the time. And I guess the point I'm trying to make is having not done it and only thinking about it, looking at it, I'm probably going to look a little closer at the House Call Pro version of it because it works directly inside the software then. So like
Right.
customer intake, I want to limit it to like, hey, we'll get your basic information. We'll see if what you want done is something that we do and if it's within our scheduling. But beyond that, like, hey, this is going to be like a 2-minute call,
Yeah.
and we're going to leave this call saying we'll be in touch with you in the next, X amount of minutes or time or something like that. And that would then hand off to me and say, hey, you have to call this customer, right? So it's still going to be up to me to take it beyond or even have Heather do it, that kind of thing. But the fact of the matter is this. My point, long ways to get there. And I said it off air before we hit record, and I think you agree with this, is right now, I'm missing the call that I'm not answering regardless. And nobody's leaving the message, like you say. And like I say, for the most part, they're not leaving a message. Most people are just going to immediately move on to the next, because I think we've all been trained into this idea that there are so many options for us as a consumer for whatever it is that you're trying to do, or, whatever it is you're trying to talk. You want to call this company for some reason, right? Whether it's a service or to book an appointment or whatever. In so many cases, you have other options and you're just going to move on. We've been trained to do that. And it's nothing for somebody to call up a plumber or an HVAC company or any other service company and that they aren't necessarily familiar with, haven't done business with in the past. They just, hey, I need this problem that just arose fixed.
Yeah. Solve
And
this.
there's no loyalty. There doesn't need to be, first of all, but there's no loyalty built already. There's always a cold call available to us as contractors. And yet if you're not answering it, you're not answered. They're not going to leave. They're not going to call you back. They're just they're not going to wait for you to call them back. And so that's where I'm at. That's literally, this is so obvious, but it's worth saying, I think, because other people are in the same position I am at. And that they don't have somebody answering the phones, and we get to the point where we don't even want to answer our phone anymore because it's always just junk calls.
Yeah.
And I want it for that. I'm not answering these calls for whatever reason. Don't get me wrong. I answer my phone. I'm not stupid, but I'm also reluctant to answer it sometimes because I just think like this whole flagging it as potential spam and stuff all the time that's a useless feature, by the way. It is. It's because it's not a lot of times it's a customer like just trying to call me and my phone thinks it's a fake call. But I'm losing that call already. So here's my point again. If I use this virtual assistant and let's say it doesn't work out, let's say people by and large just don't like it.
Sure.
They'll hang up. That's an option they can get. I wanted to tell them right away that this is I'm a virtual assistant and we're going to try to get some info and call you, we don't want this to go away. We want to help you.
Right.
And if they don't like that, they don't like it. But I already was missing the call before. So I don't think it's going to be an entirely bad experience as long as the system works the way they say it's supposed to. And by and large, it sounds like it does. It probably will be a good thing for my one-man show. It's probably more likely to work out for me than it would be for somebody with, 10 trucks on the road. I'm just guessing here. I'm sure that my point is I think there's a level of acceptance and usability for this and adaptability for your business based off of the kind of business you have. And I'm probably the prime candidate for this kind of technology, to be honest. And that doesn't mean it's not good for a big company. It totally is, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I think this is really where I'm probably like going to benefit the most from it. I'm thinking about it. I've been talking about it too long. I just want to do it. I want to try it out. It doesn't appear to be expensive at all.
I don't think so. Yeah.
It's hard to fully pin down what the costs are without just doing the trial and getting them to talk to you. So in fact, while we were talking about this morning, I was on House Call Pro. I went through the back channels of the settings and stuff, the apps that they offer you. And I just said, send me the info. And that they're going to call me today. And it's up to me to have that conversation with those people. So somebody from HCP is going to give me a call and an email and, that's fine. I asked for it. I need to move on it. Here's one thing I think about often is of all these calls that I don't get to and I try to call them back. I don't ignore them. I don't just ignore people, but there are logistic problems. Like sometimes you literally just cannot answer the phone. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything anybody doesn't already know. And not having that person to follow up other than me is that's a problem I have created for myself. And so I often wonder how do you quantify it? You can't, but what have I missed already? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How many of those calls would have been work and how much would I have been able to, bill out? I hate to look at it that way, but really,
you kind of
a lot more than I probably.
Yeah.
It's got to be a lot more than
I definitely don't think that you're wrong in that aspect. I think that it's harder for me because Cheryl does so much of our phone answering, right?
Yeah.
I would say 99% of it. I know that one of the things that drives her nuts is, people call, don't leave a message. 5 minutes later, they call back, don't leave a message. 5 minutes later, they call back, don't leave a message. And it's there's times when, just like you said, I would physically can't answer the phone.
Yeah.
But if you would have left us a message, it would have saved everybody that 30 seconds of headache of, I need to answer this, but I can't. Right. And you don't have any way to send that person a message to say, hey, well, we're going to get back to you. Just let us know what you need. This isn't hard. Right. What is the, and that's, I guess, was the question I had is, when we were talking about this before, is the reluctance to leave a message spawned out of no one ever returns a voicemail, or is it, I don't want to talk to your machine?
Oh, I'm going to go on. I don't think I'm going on a limb. I think it's the first one. I think people just don't call back anyway. So people are why do I leave a message? They're not going to call me back.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that. That would be my guess.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd stay pretty firm on that. I know what you're saying, and I think that there are people that are like, yeah, I don't want to talk to a machine. Maybe I'm just naive to that because that's never been a problem for me. But I understand that that's a thing. I really do. I acknowledge that. It's totally normal. Maybe it's more of a cynical way to look at it, but I think I look at things that way because I think I try to see what is the kind of I don't know how else to say it, kind of like the harsh reality. Like, this is, like it or not, this is probably what is happening. People aren't calling back, which sounds really negative, and that's why they aren't leaving a message. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We use these chat bots, these, whether it's Chat GPT or you use what are the other ones? Claude or I've been using Gemini quite a bit lately. I think that Gemini thing, I'm probably going away from Chat GPT, to be honest with you.
Yep. I canceled my subscription to it. I'm
going to go that route in the next few days for other reasons. We don't have to get into that, but also I will say this, and I was saying it to John and Tim the other day. Shout out to the Plumbing Perspective team, Mechanical Hub team, the Appetite for Construction. Sorry, that's what I was meant to say. I was saying to them the other day, I'll be honest, when I ask the same question to both, I tend to move forward with the Gemini stuff. I'm more impressed by the reply I get out of Gemini than I have been getting out of ChatGPT. Does that make sense?
I am. I agree. I have a whole bunch of historical data in ChatGPT that I'm like,
you can get that out of it, apparently.
Right. And then now I'm like, but why do I care?
Well, I think it's I don't think you have to, but I think it's I think people are looking
my
at
conversations. Yeah.
It does get to know you. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
We use it a lot for, like, I personally used GPT a lot in this last year, let's say, for like travel, planning and things like that, because we do a fair amount of that for recreation and for work too.
Sure.
And it can be extremely useful if you kind of know how to prompt it. You know, prompting AI is the biggest thing, really.
I think the biggest thing that I've been using either of them for lately is code related stuff.
Okay.
Like just yesterday we were the guys were installing a 40-gallon gas water heater, and they were like, we got weird combustion air. There's like a big huge open space up above it into the attic. We can't really see where the attic is actually vented, like super old building. But I was like, well, I mean, measure your volume, right? Like, we can use room air. We just have to account for the volume. And it's not a house. It was in a commercial space. But we still have to meet combustion air requirements. And, the question came up, like, well, what's that number? And I'm like, right off the top of my head, it's been so long since we've tried doing that. We always just duct combustion air into everything.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't really know right off the top of my head. So, we got a phone and I was, hit Gemini button. Boom. Hey, this is what we're trying to do. What does the current Montana Uniform Plumbing Code say about combustion air derived solely from the room? 50 BTUs per square thousand, or 50 cubic feet per thousand. Like, perfect.
Per 1,000 BTU.
Yeah. Yep. So we needed 2,000 cubic feet to get a 40,000 BTU water heater vented.
Without additional combustion air.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something that's only like half true. Okay. That's such a stupid way to start this statement. I have been trying to get in the habit of, and that's really what's only half true about it. I have been using ChatGPT, as I just said I'm going to probably stop using, or I'm going to stop using it. I've been using it to learn Spanish while I'm driving. I know it sounds stupid, but honestly, just think about it. Like, it was like once I realized, like, oh, this could teach me pretty simple Spanish phrases. Like, why wouldn't I? I'm not going to pay for some app and stuff like that right now because I'm not really serious about it. Like I said, I'm not doing it as much as I should be. But it's just one more way to use it, right? There's one more thing you can do, and it'll do anything. I mean,
Yep.
All right, dude. Well, let's see. We'll see how this moves forward. I need to really take it serious when they contact me coming up here because I bet you it's before even the end of the day. I get a call from HCP saying, "Hey, we heard you want to talk about the AI voice thing."
I mean, I think it's interesting. I'd be curious to hear what your output is, or your what the outcome of the conversation is.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't even know.
See if you get talked into a circle about, is it going to be a chatbot that talks to you about AI chatbots?
Well, if it does, and then I'm ready to sign up, then we know it's good. You know what I mean? Like, if that's the case, and I'm at the end of the conversation ready to go, like, then we know we're probably not taking too high of a risk.
So long as you don't have to book an appointment with somebody, you'll be fine.
Well, isn't that what we're going to probably do? Yeah, I know. I don't want, again, I want to limit it to the basics of just answering the call, just so I don't absolutely lose it immediately.
I think it's, like I say, I think that it is, I do have to say, it's one of the things that I've really come to recognize about House Call Pro is how much emphasis they've been putting on streamlining and making that piece of our business easier. The online booking piece of it, there's a ton of back end AI stuff that goes into all of that, and that's pretty cool. I don't use any.
Yeah, like with cool. Like anything is like, I mean, think back a few years ago now, that you were, truthfully reluctant, like hesitant, like, should we go over to this new system that Eric's trying to talk me into? You know what I mean? Like, but then, it really changed things for you for the better. So I'm not saying that that's what this is, but it's the process of it, right? It's just the whole idea. Like, I don't know if I want to do that. And then you use it and you're like, if it works out, you're like, hell yeah, what an improvement, And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But anyway. All right, dude.
Right on.
Anything to add to that?
I got nothing else to add in that. Just not a regurgitated circle around of what data you want to use.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
all right, dude. I'll talk to you.
All right. Later.